Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be discussing one of the most asked about topics, and that is how can I charge my freelance clients? How do I go about charging them? What should I charge them? How do I figure this out? And most importantly, how can I actually structure this as a business so I can predict what I'm going to make? I can create a side hustle. I can create a real business as opposed to just freelancing here and there and making a couple dollars on the side. So let's get right into it. And there are two main ways to charge for your freelancing services. The first is to charge clients an hourly rate. Now, charging them an hourly rate is pretty simple. You set your hourly rate, and based on how long you work on that project for that week or that month, whatever you agreed on, that's how much you charge the client. Now, the other way you can charge clients is by a fixed price. And this is usually in the form of a package deal, whether that's working with a client for a certain period of time, like a month or multiple months, or it's doing a specific service or providing them a product. So let me explain a little bit. A fixed price project could be building a client a website. Or let's say you're doing something like I do, which is manage advertising campaigns. That can be charging the client for 1 month of management. Now, it's important to really distinguish between these two different ways to charge clients, because the hourly method and the hourly way is where you really are still tied to the clock. You can still increase your hourly rate and get that higher and higher, but at the end of the day, you're still going to have to be tied to the clock, and you can only work so many hours in the day. Now, on the other end, the fixed price deals, that's where you can really start to formulate a repeatable process that you can package up into different bundles and sell that to different clients. So you have to ask yourself kind of where you're at in your journey. And if you're just starting out, you're probably going to go down the hourly route first, charge clients for your time, get some reviews under your belt, and eventually you can use everything you learned and then transition to charging fixed price. So you're never stuck to just charging one way, but when you first start out, you probably want to get started hourly and then move eventually to a fixed price model. And the next thing you want to do is ask yourself what the competition is charging. And a lot of times you might ask yourself this and you don't actually know what they're charging because you may just hear things, but I have a way for you to actually figure out what other freelancers are charging for their products, their services. In that way, you can get a better understanding for where you're at in your journey, and you can compare that and use that as sort of a benchmark for where you want to come in the market and offer your products or services for. So if we jump on over here to Upwork, I love working on the freelancing side of Upwork, but I also work on the other side, the client side of things, where I hire freelancers to help me with certain projects. And even if you don't have a client account, you can still go to Upwork and you can start to search for other freelancers that are providing the same services as you or the services that you want to provide. So let's just say, for example, that you are a graphic designer. You can go to Upwork and you can search for a graphic designer. And once you do that, let's do that here, we can see that a bunch of different freelancers will start to pop up. Now, this is the best way to get started because now you can see who is on Upwork, what kind of hourly rates they're charging, and not only that, but then you can start to go into specific freelancers' profiles and understand why they're charging what they are. So you can see that this graphic designer is up to $70 an hour, which is awesome. But also remember that he has 127 hours under his belt, 55 jobs, and has earned over 10 grand on the platform. So you're probably not going to just sign up to Upwork and then tomorrow land a client for $70 an hour. However, it's important to use this as a benchmark. So now you know what one graphic designer charges. Now you can see another graphic designer who's charging $17 an hour for their services, and they only have one job on the platform and $50 earned. So now you can start to see just right off the bat who are the first couple people that show up, and you can see there's a wide spectrum of people. And that's the beauty of Upwork and the beauty of freelancing, is that there's always clients out there with different budgets. And when you're just starting out, you can start to serve clients for a lower hourly rate and then eventually work your way up. Now, one important note here is that every single freelancer on Upwork is going to have what's called a default hourly rate, and that is what will show up here. So let's go back to Matthew here because we already saw he had a lot of jobs. And what we can do is start to scroll down and we can see all of the jobs that he has in the past and the ones that he actually has going right now. So we can see he has a lot of fixed price projects. It looks like the last couple are fixed price. He also has an hourly client right here where it's still in progress and it's 13 hours for 45 an hour. And then he also has different fixed price at 30 an hour, 100 an hour. But you can go into this in even more depth. You can start to see exactly what kind of services he's offering and what he's charging for them. And then on top of that, you can see the happy clients that were happy with the services that he provided. So what does that mean to you and you pricing your services? Well, it's a benchmark. Like we said, if you ask yourself what the competition is charging without doing any research, you're going to have no idea. But if you start to get on Upwork, you start to do your research, you see what other freelancers that are making money online, what they're charging for their services, you can start to price your own services based on where you're at in your journey, how much experience you have, and how eager you are to make money online. Now, I want to go over when you are charging fixed price for your product or your service, you always want to provide 3 different service offerings. And this does a couple of different things. Number one, when you're actually trying to get the client, this really helps show them that you're not just charging by the hour, but you're charging for how much value that you are going to provide, and you're letting the client find what the best fit is for them. And this is a great way to close more clients, and it's also an amazing way to upscale and to upsell all of your clients that you have already. Because once you have them in the door, and let's say they're on a lower package, there's nothing holding you back from offering great value and then starting to push them up that value ladder and then getting them into your more expensive packages. So always remember, that's the beauty of freelancing. Everything is fluid. Nothing is just set in stone. You don't just have to stick to one skill set. You don't have to work with one client doing the same thing forever. You can grow, you can expand, and that is actually what you should do. So when you're just starting out, you're probably not going to do the same thing forever. Something's going to get you in the door. You're going to learn, you're going to expand, and you're going to grow. So I hope this video was helpful breaking down how you can get started charging your clients for your services, how you can go out there, get a benchmark for what other people are doing, and then ultimately how to bundle your services and push clients up your value ladder. If you have any questions, please comment them down below. Any ideas for future videos? I make content on freelancing, entrepreneurship, and lifestyle freedom. And until the next time, I look forward to your success.